Hello, I am Portia Preston, and I wanted to come on and do a video speaking from where I authentically am right now. I think that there's a place for me to be the put together professional who is ready with all of the cues and the great advice, but there's also some value in showing myself in process. So, what you see right now behind me is my cat who is entertaining herself. She's decided the leaves are fun to play with, and she has absolutely no spatial awareness. So, I'm just hoping that she doesn't fall out while we're recording. You might see the door behind me open if the other cat decides that she wants to be in too. So we're just gonna roll with it because they want to be around me. Um, I got a microphone yesterday, so I'm gonna use this to talk. It was very ironic timing because I was opening up while Cory Booker was delivering his 24 5 hour um, filibuster on the Senate floor. And it just made me think about how are we using our platforms and our voices. Yesterday was also World Autism Day, and I didn't. Wait, is it today? Today is World Autism Day. Oh my gosh. See, that's the funny thing. I don't know what date it is because I actually have been going through medication withdrawals, and that's what I wanted to talk about. So, surprise to me, today is World Autism Day. I didn't miss it. That's awesome. I really thought it was yesterday. But the reason I'm going through withdrawals is because I take several medications. If you don't know already, I have autism and ADHD, and I knew I'd had ADHD for years. I didn't know about the autism until a few days ago. No, a year ago. Oh my gosh, I am so out of commission right now, and now I'm having second thoughts about posting this. Okay, let me tell you what is happening. Um, I found out about my autism a year ago, and I went through a more formal diagnosis for my ADHD. So for the past year, I have been just relearning myself, unlearning a lot of assumptions that I'd made about myself. And along the way, I've been fortunate to be able to take several medications. There's the other cat. See, I told you that would happen, that help me with anxiety, with depression, and also a stimulant that helps with my ADHD. I have both, oh my goodness, what are they called? Inattentive, hyperactive, compulsive. I don't know. You'll tell me because this is the absolute worst day for me to be trying to teach you anything about these conditions. But the reason I'm showing you this video is because I am so in process right now, and it is rare that I feel the way that I do. So I want to tell you what happened. One of the medications that I take for anxiety and depression um, ran out, and as usual, I call in for my prescription, and the pharmacy just kept saying that it was out of stock. And so I decided after a few days, let me call them because sometimes it kind of, they say it's out of stock and then nothing happens and it just stays out of stock. And so I called them, and what happened was the manufacturer decided to stop making the quantity that I had been receiving. And there was no system in place to say, hey, we need to give her the quantity that they now provide because the medication itself is still the same. It's just a matter of how many are in the bottle. So once they were able to get to the bottom of this, they said, great, we'll have your medication by 3 p.m. today. So I'm counting down. Trust me, I'm so excited because what you are experiencing in real time is an immense brain fog. And so I want to share this because I know so many people go through brain fog and they start to feel bad about themselves. They take it personally that they can't remember things, they can't show up in the way that it used to. I told you she would fall out of that tree. Oh my goodness, poor baby. That might be the other one. She might have jumped. Anyway, I know my cats. Um, the brain fog for me comes and goes. And so I've been experiencing it ever since I would say probably around the time that I got diagnosed with kidney disease. And that was, don't make me tell you how many years ago it was. It was a while ago. It was at least 10 years ago, I think 13. And so all of those years, I kept telling my doctors, I have fatigue. Um, I'm not myself. And sometimes when it's not their specialty, they won't tell you that. They'll just say, I don't know anything about that and keep moving. And that's what happened to me for so long. And so now one of the hurdles was getting the diagnosis that allowed me to get the meds. And then the next hurdle is getting the meds. But in the meantime, the world doesn't stop around me. I thought, oh, this is the first week of the second quarter. I am going to just hit it out the gates. And life is teaching me because right now I have vertigo, and that's why I'm talking quietly and calmly. Honestly, it's the way that I prefer to talk online. I think it's more intimate and personal and genuine and authentic, but also because I have vertigo. And I want to see if I can show you how easy it is for me to activate this. There. I literally moved my eyes. And so for the past day, the first day of the new quarter, um, I really can't do much. I have to cancel anything that requires driving, because if you can't move your eyes, you cannot drive safely on the road. I've had to cancel my training. I'm not going to be working out until I feel safe doing so. I am doing all I can to remember to take the meds that I do have. I'm letting myself stay still and be in bed as much as possible. Um, and the surprise for me, and I hope this is what I'm able to communicate to you, before you judge yourself because of a challenge that you're going through or a difficulty that you're having, I just want you to think for a moment what I might be closing my door to is my potential and what is possible. I am missing the bigger picture every time I shame myself. And so I hope that you can take that into something that you're dealing with right now and just really start to question, how helpful is it to shame myself? So if I shamed myself for making mistakes at the beginning of this video, we wouldn't be having the conversation that we are now. I know that the people who stuck around are the ones who need it, and I can't worry about anybody else. I know how dangerous it can be for people to demonstrate their weaknesses to others. And so we hide and we start to think, well, so and so is more put together. They should be sharing their journey. I'm not ready. But I'm telling you, there was something about watching Cory Booker on the Senate floor the moment that my mic came, and it was like, what are you going to do with this? A week ago, I decided to take on this challenge of posting content for 100 days, and I immediately had to adjust because I wasn't feeling well. And I told myself, you don't have to be on camera, but just post your thoughts somewhere because you can't share your message when people don't know who you are. And so there's something about this moment of being here with you. I am just showing up out of obedience to what I feel is on my heart to do. And I know and I'm confident now that if I have a struggle, there is an opportunity. That doesn't mean that it's not a struggle. That doesn't mean that things won't be hard. It just means that it isn't over. And I'm doing the one thing that I can do right now, which is sit still. So in the past day, ironically, because I couldn't go off into as many distractions, I couldn't chase my ADHD. I actually had more clarity to work through some things that felt like they were too hard. I finished building an author landing page for my website so that when people go to my website now, they have a better sense of me as a person, as well as access to pre order my book. And I'm really proud of myself for doing that because a couple of weeks ago, I was just like, there's no way that I can edit my own website. And the reason why is because I adore the website design that I was given years ago by a wonderful team based in Belfast. These women worked so hard and they made my site so beautiful. And I've been afraid to mess it up. I've believed I'm going to do something, I'm going to mess up the code. I did, but I got it figured out because I use Squarespace and it's not about coding. I had to do a little trial and error, but what I figured out was that I can teach myself how to do this if I don't demand that it be done perfectly and immediately. And so I'm still in process. There's more that I want to do, but I'm so proud of the progress that I've made. And I'm so grateful to my publisher because they were like, where's your book on your website? And so that made me like get over it and just, launch it. So I'm very proud of myself for that. The other thing I've been doing is working on a speaker one sheet. And I really want people to understand that what sets me apart in my industry isn't my knowledge of burnout, isn't my ability to teach sustainable business practices. It is being someone who has gone through burnout multiple times and the context of the workplace, the way that the work was structured. I've worked in management consulting, nonprofit, academia, um, the federal government. In fact, I was spending time the past few days communicating with my friends who were recently impacted by the reduction in force and thinking about how I can use my platform to help advocate for them and to help them see their path forward. So, I've also been on a performance improvement plan. I know what it's like to be in the position where you have to figure out your career again. I took that leap. And now that I'm on the other side and I've healed from my experiences, I realize the opportunity I have to help other people who are going through the same thing now. And it was something that brought me shame for a long time because it didn't have to happen. I had an opportunity to stay there and be promoted, but I had to see to it that I prioritized my health. And that's why I'm here and I'm able to share with you now. I never would have gone into academia. And so I have this ability now to be proud and see the fuller picture. I know what I did very well, and I know at the end of the day, finally, that there are ways in which my ADHD made it difficult for me to perform in some ways, but I also had a really great track record and I had an opportunity to keep going. And what that taught me was I can do this again. I don't have to be good at everything, but I'm going to find the things that I'm really great at and I'm going to tap into that fully. So I've been through the struggles that I'm trying to help people with. As an entrepreneur, I scaled a company up, burned out because it was on burnout, and I was still a professor and I was doing all of these works on self care during the pandemic. Um, and I was over functioning because deep down inside, I didn't really believe that I had tenure. I spent the first 2 years after tenure continuing to prove myself. And what that meant was it catapulted me. So, like, all of my criteria for full are met, which is amazing. But it meant that I sacrificed myself in the process. And I want to slow down because I don't want to take you in too many places at once. What is setting me apart here is my ability to go through things, grow through things, heal, and then help people on the other side. I know my work inside and out, and that I am willing to be compassionate, vulnerable, and forthcoming and share things that other experts will hide about themselves because I can't. When I first went through depression 2 years ago, a lot of it had to do with things that people in my life were going through and my realization that I couldn't fix them. I'm not here to fix anybody, but it was a very rough lesson for me to learn. And in that moment, I thought, what expert out there is talking about having depression? So I started to look it up, and there were all these people that were like, I will help you hack depression. This is why I haven't gone through one in 10 years. And I'm like, I'm really happy for you, but I don't think that should be my testimony. And so the week that I finally started to realize I was going through therapy and I was getting graduated all the time because everybody's like, you're like the highest functioning person in my practice. You're doing great. And somehow was finally able to articulate there's this really deep internal pressure inside of me. It's really intense. And I know it looks like I've got everything together, but this is really hard and I'm not okay. That leapt out of me and it led to me having the courage to learn about major depressive disorder and to start accepting that this was not something that I was going through in isolation. It was recurrent and it was deeper than any I don't know if I would just want to say surface level approach, and I had to stop sweeping it under the rug. So the week that I made that decision, I gave a talk and I kept thinking that I shouldn't talk about my depression because I need to be focused on these people. And I just felt like there was something ego driven about making it about me. And so what happened was I actually was at the airport and I was getting an Uber to go to the speaking event. And I saw some people who I figured we're probably going to the same place. And so I said, hey, if you guys want to jump in, I'll take care of the Uber. Let's just get to the venue. And we're in the car for 1 minute. I don't know these people, I've never met them before. They look at me and they're like, I've been going through depression for the past year. And I'm just like, wait, what? Like, I guess they knew that I was going to the conference to speak on wellness, and something about, I guess, my aura just told them that they were safe with me. And so I told them, I said, I've been going through depression too, and I've been thinking about whether or not I should share my journey, just because it's so fresh and new. And they were like, please do. And so that week, I gave 2 sessions back to back. And as I started to tell my story, I realized they don't need this lecture. They can have these slides. What they need is each other. And the second session was almost, I felt like Oprah just going around the audience because everybody started sharing their stories. And someone came to me after and they said, I was avoiding your session because of your credentials, because you're not a mom. And I felt like you couldn't relate to me. I only came to your session because the ones I wanted to go to were full. No problem. And she said, when you started talking, your voice was me. And so now I understand why I've been given these platforms and why I've been given these struggles. I do research as a professor, not because I enjoy research, but because I know that it is a way for me to amplify voices that are underserved, that are unheard. And we're going into a time where that's going to happen a lot more often. And I've been given a microphone to make a difference, and I'm going to do it. And so I trust that even today, with me being in process, with me going through my own thing, maybe it has the ability to touch you. The tears in my eyes are real. I did not pause and put glycerin in them because I've been through so much. I'm not going to rattle it all off to you. If you follow my platform and my journey, you'll learn more about me. You'll see some of the things, but I've been through so much and I'm still here. And I'm here to help. And being in process while working on my marketing materials, while refining the scope of my business, while working on my book promotion is helping me to see that you've been given these opportunities because you're willing to share and help others and connect with them and help to amplify humanity. So if you've been here this long, I'm so grateful to you. I really allowed the spirit to lead today. I didn't have a script, and I just trust that I shared the things that you needed to hear from someone else without having to share your whole story. So please know that I take care of myself. I make sure that I consent to what I'm sharing before I share it with you, because vulnerability in the wrong hands is a liability. And I want you to be safe in what you choose to disclose. So with it being World Autism Day, I would like to touch upon the fact that not everyone is in the position to do what I have, to be able to recognize the signs and act on them, to be able to get a diagnosis, to be able to get access to medication, and to be able to navigate their career without consequences that are adverse. So please remember that, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you got to learn a little bit more about my journey. And if you're going through it too, there's hope, there's community, and there's healing. Talk to you guys soon.